My name is Ria. I am 26 years old, and I work as a content writer in a small marketing company. Writing has always been my comfort. When life feels heavy, I write. When I can't speak my feelings, I put them into words. But there was a time when even writing couldn't save me, because the story I lived was something I never thought I would go through. This is not just a love story. This is a story of love, trust, betrayal, and forgiveness. And I am the one who lived every part of it. I joined the company when I was 23. It wasn't a big office, just a simple workspace with a few departments. People were friendly, but I mostly kept to myself. I wasn't the type to talk a lot. I believed in doing my work quietly and going home. Love was never my priority. At least, not until I met Rohan. He was my colleague. He worked in the same team. Everyone in the office knew him. Not because he was loud or arrogant, but because he had a calm confidence. He spoke less, but when he did, people listened. The first time we spoke was during a team meeting. After that, we started talking more. At first, it was just about work, simple conversations. But slowly, they became longer. After that, he started sitting with me almost every day. We talked about small things, work, life, dreams. "Why did you choose writing?" he asked one day. I thought for a moment. "Because it's the only place where I can be completely honest," I said. He looked at me carefully. "You're not honest in real life?" "I am," I smiled faintly. "But not as much as I am in my words." He didn't laugh. He understood. And that made me feel seen. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Without realizing it, he became important to me. I don't know when friendship turned into love. Maybe it was the way he cared. Maybe it was the way he understood me without asking too many questions. Or maybe it was just him. Our love was simple, but deep. We didn't need grand gestures. We found happiness in small moments. Morning coffee together, late night calls, sharing random thoughts. We got married after 2 years. It was a small wedding with close family and a few friends. I remember looking at him during the ceremony and thinking, this is my person. This is my forever. Marriage felt like a dream. We built a life together, not perfect, but full of warmth. But slowly, things began to change. At first, it was small. He started coming home late. "I have work," he would say. I believed him. Then he stopped talking like before. When I tried to share something, he seemed distracted. Okay, he would reply, barely listening. I told myself, he's just stressed. Love makes you ignore the signs you shouldn't ignore. Days turned into months. He became distant, cold. The man who once couldn't stay a day without me now didn't even look at me properly. One night I asked him, "Did I do something wrong?" He sighed in frustration. "Why do you always think like this? Can't you just understand?" "I'm trying to understand," I said softly, "but you're not letting me." He didn't answer. That silence hurt more than any words. Then came the day my world broke. I wasn't trying to find anything. I wasn't suspicious. But sometimes, truth finds you even when you don't look for it. His phone rang while he was in the shower. I picked it up to give it to him, but the name on the screen, it wasn't familiar. And the message? I miss you. When will I see you again? My hands started shaking. I told myself, no, this can't be true. But something inside me already knew. When he came out, I showed him the phone. Who is she? He froze. For a moment, he said nothing, and that silence was my answer. Rohan, please say something. My voice broke. It's not what you think, he said quickly. Then what is it? I cried. He looked away, and in that moment, I realized something terrifying. The man I trusted more than myself had broken me. The truth came out slowly. He had been seeing someone else. It just happened, he said. It didn't mean anything, he said. It was a mistake, he said. But how can love be a mistake? How can betrayal be nothing? I felt like my entire world collapsed. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I kept asking myself, was I not enough? That question destroyed me. I didn't scream. I didn't fight. I just became quiet. Because sometimes pain becomes too deep for words. Days passed. We lived in the same house, like strangers. He tried to talk. I couldn't. Every time I looked at him, I remembered everything. His promises, his love, his lies. One night he said, I'm sorry. I didn't respond. I made a mistake, Ria, he continued. I lost myself. I finally spoke. A mistake is forgetting something. This was a choice. He had no answer. I decided to leave. Not because I didn't love him anymore, but because loving him was destroying me. I need to find myself again, I told him. He looked broken. Please don't go. I already lost myself staying, I said quietly, and I walked away. Life after that wasn't easy. I had to start again, alone. There were nights I cried myself to sleep, days when I felt empty. But slowly, I started healing. Months passed. I learned to live without him. But somewhere deep inside, a part of me still loved him. Love doesn't disappear easily, even after betrayal. One evening, I heard a knock on my door. When I opened it, he was standing there, Rohan. He looked different, not the confident man I knew. He looked broken. I know I don't deserve to stand here, he said. I stayed silent. I lost everything, he continued. And I realized I lost the only person who truly loved me. My heart trembled, but I stayed strong. I made the biggest good the life, he said, and I regret it every single day. Regret doesn't change what happened, I replied. I know, he said, but I want to spend my life trying to make it right. I looked at him. This the mind who broke me, but also the man I once loved more than anything. Why should I trust you again? I asked. You shouldn't, he said honestly, but give me a chance to earn it back. That honesty hurt, but it also felt real. For the first time, he wasn't making excuses. He was accepting his mistake. I don't want a perfect relationship, he continued. I just want a chance to be better, to be worthy of you again. I closed my eyes. My heart was fighting with my mind. Pain and love, both were still alive inside me. Forgiveness is not easy. It doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean the pain disappears. It simply means choosing to let go of the anger. I took a deep breath. "If I give you a chance," I said slowly, "things won't be the same." "I don't want them to be the same," he replied. "I want them to be better." I looked at him one last time, and then I said something I never thought I would say again. "I forgive you." He broke down. Tears, guilt, relief, everything at once. But forgiveness didn't mean everything was fixed instantly. It meant starting again, slowly, carefully, with boundaries. He changed, not in words, but in actions. He listened. He respected. He valued me in ways he never did before. Trust came back little by little, like healing a deep wound. Painful, slow, but possible. One night, we sat together quietly, just like old times. He held my hand gently. "Thank you for not giving up on me," he said. I smiled softly. "I didn't stay because you deserved it," I said. "I stayed because my heart chose peace over hatred." Love is not always perfect. Sometimes it breaks. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it loses its way. But sometimes, if there is truth, regret, and real change, love finds its way back. And maybe that is what forgiveness really means. Not erasing the past, but choosing to build something stronger from it.